All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we are going to be in the 147-pound division, where we now have some clarity as to the conversation about Terence Crawford and Jaron Ennis proposed fight falling through. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 147-pound division, and we are going to be talking about one of the best fights that could have been made in the division, and that is a fight between Terence Bud Crawford, who was the WBO welterweight champion, and the IBF interim champion, Jaron Boots Ennis. According to many reports, and now we have many reports from many different sides, there was an offer made by BLK Prime to organize a fight between Terence Crawford and Jaron Ennis, and that fight, they were unable to do that, and now we have some visibility in it. And also, I do believe that it is related to a statement that was made by Steven Espinoza of Showtime Sports. Now, when I go through this, if I hurt anybody's feelings, I'm sorry. It just is what it is. At this point in time, everybody that has been kind of involved with that have now spoken their mind, and it is now very, very obvious, or at least seems obvious, what transpired. But before I get into that, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And also, if you are a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much for your continued support. I am going to dedicate this video to some of my favorite people, Deborah Branch and Barbara D, Blessed 365, Cam Williams. Shout out to all the ladies that watch the channel, the boxing channel, and thank you guys for your support for an old man like myself. Thank you so much for your supports in the super chats and in the cash apps of the videos, and in the super thanks of videos like this. It really does. How can I say, calm the savage beast of boxing talk because you guys are so much fun to talk to and just really make it a much more mature, even tone conversation, which is something I cannot say about the rest of what I'm talking about in this video, because man, there's a lot of stuff going on. A lot of people real mad at each other. But at the end of the day, you know what they say, money talks, S walks. And that looks like what happened to the bout with Terence Crawford and Jaron Ennis that was being proposed by BLK Prime and ultimately hit the scrap heap. Now, let me go through this. BLK Prime is a distribution network that put on Terence Crawford's last bout against David Avanesyan. They got that fight in the middle of a negotiation that was taking place between Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford for the Undisputed Championship. So that's how BLK Prime bust onto the scene. Now, BLK Prime, through some representatives of people that they were working with, attempted to broker a deal between, certain people whose names shall remain nameless, because, like I said, I ain't trying to get on anybody's neck about this, that, or the other thing. Just the facts as we know it. Tried to broker a deal between BLK Prime and Terence Crawford and Jaron Ennis. They asked, according to what they said, they went to Terence Crawford and asked Terence Crawford if he would be interested in making a bout with Jaron Ennis. Terence Crawford said, yeah, I'd be interested in it. Something to the effect that he thinks that he would be able to, Jaron Ennis doesn't want no smoke with him because he's never been in a ring with him, and he would like to have that fight. Then that person went to Bozy Ennis and asked Bozy Ennis if Bozy Ennis would be interested in about with Jaron Ennis. Included in this conversation were, just so we get clear, Blue Blood Sports TV, Zab, I do also believe Zab Judah, Dez, who a guy named Desmond Grums, I think that is his full name, who is a guy that is running BLK Prime. I don't think he owns it. I think he was running it. And in asking Bozy Ennis, they asked Bozy Ennis, what is your relationship with Showtime? Do you have an agreement with Showtime? Bozy Ennis felt as if, this is according to Bozy Ennis and also people that are familiar with Bozy Ennis, that he did not trust what was going on, why they were asking him these questions, and why BLK Prime and the people that were representing BLK Prime were trying to negotiate with him when he had a business relationship with Showtime. Now, according to sources, the people that are involved, Bozy Ennis said that he did not have anything written down. He said, though, that he had an arrangement with Showtime. Now, this is where I have to put a little thing in here. Just because something is not written down does not necessarily mean that you don't have an agreement. Clearly, Jaron Ennis has an agreement with Showtime because they are airing his fights. Steven Espinoza said he had a multi-fight deal. Their camp said that they had a multi-fight deal. And Bozy Ennis said that I'm going to honor my agreement. So Bozy Ennis insisted that when they spoke, that they brought in Showtime into the meetings. He called Steven Espinoza. Steven Espinoza was involved in the meeting. And this is what a person that was listening to the conversation said. And this is Tate Jones. You can go to Tate Jones' YouTube page, listen to the live stream that he did, said that what basically happened is that it fell apart because Showtime said, yes, BLK Prime, you can have Jaron to fight Terence Crawford. You're just going to have to give us X amount of money. Now, X amount of money, I was not clear about what that was. All the proceeds from the fight is what I believe was said. However, whatever the amount that was said was more than BLK Prime was willing to pay, because it would not be in their financial best interest to pay that much money to Showtime in order to get Jaron. So that is how that ended. So in effect, the bout did not take place because Showtime made an offer to BLK Prime, and BLK Prime turned that offer down because it was not in their financial best interest. Thereafter, according to the sources from related that are close to Bozy Ennis. Now, this is YSM Sports Media. I know earlier in the video I said I wouldn't name names, but whatever. This is all on YouTube. You can look up all this stuff yourself. YSM Sports Media says that after that, Steven Espinoza called Terence Crawford about making the fight with Jaron Ennis because Jaron Ennis and Bozy Ennis wanted the fight. That's why they were in the meeting with BLK Prime and Showtime to begin with. They wanted the fight. So they Steven Espinoza calls Jaron Ennis, or calls Terence Crawford. And from there, nothing else happened. And that was the end of that. So in a nutshell, the reason that the bout did not take place or the fight was not arranged is because BLK Prime turned down an offer from Showtime that was not in their financial advantage or in their financial interest. Now, you can characterize that however you want. They gave them an ask for way too much, so clearly they were ducking the fight. What I would say is pay attention to what Showtime's president of Showtime Sports, Steven Espinoza, said about what he was really trying to accomplish with Terence Crawford, and that is a fight with Errol Spence. Now, Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford, according to sources, right? Mike Coppinger reported this, have been having conversations. Also, I do believe YSM Sports Media also reported this, but you can go check out YSM Sports Media's channel anytime you want. Said that they were talking between each other Errol Spence and Terence Crawford directly about trying to get the bout done. And Steven Espinoza, for his part, said that he is going to try to make the Errol Spence Terence Crawford fight on Showtime until the time that Errol Spence and Terence Crawford retire. So, more than likely, what does that mean? It means that Terence Crawford who never actually himself offered to fight Jaron Ennis, was talking to somebody that said, hey, man, if we can work it out, would you be interested in it? And he said, yeah, I would be interested in it. There is a big gap between interested in it and would do it, then getting it done, right? And that is why the fight did not happen. Also, there is no reason why Terence Crawford himself, or actually where Terence Crawford is not actually represented by BLK Prime. So they are, again, brokering a deal for Terence Crawford. And what winds up happening at the end, Steven Espinoza just calls Terence Crawford directly because they had already been in negotiations for a fight. But if you had to ask, and this is my assumption, if you had to ask Terence Crawford, and he gave an answer, whether you think the answer is honest or not, who do you want to fight at Showtime? Do you want to fight Jaron Ennis or do you want to fight Errol Spence? I suspect you say Errol Spence. Also, if you want to talk about Showtime itself, what fight would Showtime want to take place? Errol Spence, Terence Crawford, or Jaron Ennis, Terence Crawford? It's going to be Errol Spence because they're not going to try to negotiate. They're not going to try to negotiate a fight for Terence Crawford with somebody other than Errol Spence. So this just seems to be an attempt to broker about that just failed, and it failed for one specific reason. However, if you look at the general tone of it, it looks like just a fishing expedition that didn't turn out. They took a reel, threw it into a hook and bait, and tried to catch a whale, and the whale didn't bite, or if the whale bit, it just snatched the pole out of their hand and went swimming away. It just doesn't seem like that was a way that you're actually going to get that thing done. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.